Welcome to Star Citizen Ship Talk. Today we are going to deep dive once again into the most fascinating ships in the verse. And today's video is going to be a fun one because we are going to be looking at some of the most quirky, bizarre and unexpected designs in Star Citizen. From holographic cockpits to hidden smuggling compartments, these ships break the mold in ways that make them both fascinating and sometimes a little frustrating. Whether you're a veteran pilot or just getting started, you won't want to miss this one here, so let's get started. And first up, we have the Esperia Talon, a sleek alien-inspired fighter with a unique trick up its sleeve, or rather its cockpit. Unlike traditional ships where the pilot gets a clear view through a canopy, the Talon doesn't have one. Instead, everything you see is projected onto a holographic display inside the cockpit. That's right, the entire cockpit is a screen. It looks futuristic, but there's one big problem. If those screens take damage, your visibility will severely be compromised. In the heat of the battle, it means that one stray shot could have you flying blind. So while the Talon may feel like a stepping into a next-gen fighter, it also introduces a level of risk that most pilots might not be comfortable with. Next on the list are the wings of the Corsair. Drake Interplanetary is no stranger to unconventional ship designs, but the Corsair takes things to another level. This long-range exploration vessel features massive asymmetric wings that fold upward when landing, giving it an almost loop-sided stance. It's as if the ship is raising its arm in surrenders every time it touches down. While the folding mechanisms here do save space, it's true, it also makes landing the Corsair feel awkward, especially in tight hangars. And let's not forget that the ship already has a wide profile, making it an easy target in combat. So while it's a fantastic multi-crew ship with great firepower, the Corsair's wing configuration is definitely one of the weirdest in the game. Speaking of weird wings, how about the Reliant, right? Because next on the list we have the MISC Reliant, a ship that truly embraces versatility, but at a cost. Unlike most spacecraft that remain in a fixed flight configuration, the Reliant's wings can rotate from horizontal to vertical mode. While this transformation is visually impressive, it doesn't always work in the pilot's favor. The change in flight dynamics can make dogfighting a bit awkward, and there have been plenty of reports of Reliant pilots struggling to land properly. It's a ship that prioritizes style over practicality, and while it might be fun for some, it's definitely one of the most unusual designs in Star Citizen. And next we're going back to Drake Interplanetary here. It makes another appearance on the list with the Caterpillar. This modular cargo ship breaks convention in two major ways. First, the cockpit is mounted on the side of the ship instead of the center, which makes flying and landing feel a bit strange, especially for new pilots. Second, the Caterpillar's entire cockpit detaches as an escape pod in case of emergencies. While this feature could be useful in theory, it also means that if you ever get into trouble, you're abandoning the rest of the ship and whatever cargo you are hauling. It's a bold design, but one that raises more questions than answers. And next, we are moving on to the 890 Jump. Luxury doesn't always mean convenience. The 890 Jump is one of the most elegant ships in Star Citizen, but when it comes to escape pods, it's one of the worst. Instead of being placed near the bridge or maybe the crew quarters, the escape pods are located in a completely different section of the ship, meaning that if disaster strikes, you might not even have time to reach them. For a ship that's supposed to be the pinnacle of luxury, this design choice feels like a major oversight. Maybe Origin assumes that rich peoples don't need to worry about escaping because their insurance will just buy them a new ship. Next, we are going to a starter ship here. This is the Nomad, and we're going to talk about its floating cargo bed. If you've ever wanted to hold cargo in a ship that feels like a futuristic pickup truck, the Consolidated Outland Nomad is for you. Unlike other ships with enclosed cargo bays, the Nomad features an open-air floating cargo platform at the back. While this gives it a unique aesthetic, it also means that cargo is fully exposed to elements and potential thieves. You'd think a ship designed for small-scale transport would have better cargo security, but nope. It's just floating bow there in the back, ready to be stolen by the first opportunistic pirate who flies by. Our next ship is one of the most recent in the verse, and that is the Crusader Intrepid, which may be a starter ship, but its interior layout is anything but standard. First off, it features a tiny side-mounted entrance with small steps, making boarding feel surprisingly cramped. But the real quirk comes inside, where the cargo area is split into two separate sections, one on each side of the ship. Most ships have a single cargo bay for easy access, but the Intrepid forces you to work around its unconventional layout. It's certainly unique, but whether or not it's practical depends on your playstyle. Number 8 is the Scorpius and its retractable wings. The RSI Scorpius is undoubtedly one of the coolest looking fighters in Star Citizen, featuring X-Wing style folding wings that retract when landing. While this transformation makes the ship more compact, it also introduces some problems. Some pilots have reported issues with the wings getting stuck, and the transition between modes can sometimes feel a little clunky. It's a small price to pay for an epic design, but it's still a quirk worth mentioning. At number 9, we have the Hull series. The MISC Hull series takes cargo hauling to another level, literally. Unlike most freighters, which have enclosed cargo bays, the Hull series expands and contracts depending on how much cargo it's carrying. When it's fully loaded, the ship looks like a massive space skeleton covered in cargo containers, but when it's empty, it falls down into a much compact frame. This makes it one of the most visually unique ships in the game, but also raises the question about just how secure those containers really are. And last but not least, we have the Mercury Star Runner. It's one of the most beloved ships in the game, but with some interesting quirks. First, its cockpit is slightly off-center, which some pilots notice while flying, but the real secret of the MSR lies in its hidden smuggling compartments and crawl-space tunnels. These secret pathways allow players to hide contraband, stash away loot, or even use them to evade borders. It's one of the best ships for players looking for a little bit of mischief in the verse. And so there you have it, some of the strangest and most interesting ship quirks in Star Citizen. Which of these designs do you love and which ones do you find absolutely ridiculous? Is there something else that I should have put in the list? Let me know in the comment section down below. Of course, if you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and don't forget we got a giveaway this month. I'm giving away an Super Hornet Mark II, so make sure to subscribe. 10 commenters will be put into the Wheel of Names, automatic entries for Patreon and YouTube members. Shout out to Dr. Fabin, Shadow Rise, Ducky to Ducker, and Zero Crusher. I've been Rad. I'll see you guys in the next one.